Ivanoff Retirement Insights with Paul and Travis Ivanoff. The father and son team at Ivanoff Advisors and Ivanoff Wealth Management helps clients grow and protect their wealth. Paul and Travis understand the importance of having tax-advantaged, reliable income in retirement, protecting your assets, and helping you achieve your retirement dreams. Now, Ivanoff Retirement Insights.
Welcome to another episode of the Ivanoff Retirement Insights podcast. My name is Casey, and I'm here with my buddies, Paul Ivanoff, insurance agent with Ivanoff Advisors, and his son, Travis Ivanoff, investment advisor representative with Ivanoff Wealth Management. And they are here to break down some of the biggest retirement headlines from the week for us. All right, guys, let's get into it. We are all about planning ahead here on this show. So let's start with something that's had to have been on a lot of people's minds because retirement numbers are continuing to go up and up. In an average year in the U.S., it is estimated that anywhere from 1 to 1.3 million people retire. But after COVID, that number went up to 3.6 million. And in the last 2 years, that number has topped 4 million people retiring a year. And it's looking like those numbers will likely repeat in 2026 and 2027. And I think anytime there's a situation where a lot of people need a service or a product, inevitably there will be bad actors ready to swoop in. So my question is, guys, what would your buyer beware red flags be when people are looking for retirement help? What do we need to keep an eye out for?
So when we think about buyer bewares, I mean, there's quite a few of them, but really when you sit down with whatever advisor you're talking to, if you're going to a seminar, if they're trying to get you to move everything in like one day, meaning, hey, we had one meeting, it's time to get your assets over and then we're going to do all the planning, that seems pretty high pressure. And how well do they really get to know you, your goals, your dreams, everything about you? So I think be careful of people that are trying to get you to move quickly, especially if they're just offering like, hey, we got an annuity with a 30% bonus, act today before it runs out. If you sign today, you're going to lock in this big bonus. We see that a lot around us with different seminars, but that's probably not very purposeful planning. That's just trying to strike while the iron's hot and sell on emotion rather than planning. So when we are looking at, buyer bewares, I would say make sure they're taking time to get to know you. Or if they're promising unrealistic returns, hey, I'm going to get you 50% a year and we're going to go crypto and Bitcoin. It's really be careful of general advice, I would say, and make sure that whoever you're working with, what we like to do is really get to know our clients and make sure we leave no stone unturned and understand their goals, their family history. Why do they have a hard time spending? Is it how they grew up? So just make sure people are getting to know you and be aware of high pressure, right? Making you act quickly because of an emotional bonus or something like that.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of lack of transparency around fees. We're finding a lot of the potential clients that meet with us, they don't have a clue what they're paying in fees. A lot of times they'll say not much, or I'll have to ask my advisor about it, or they might give a real low number out sometimes. But what we're all concerned about is not just an advisor fee. You want to know the all-in fees, every piece of it, and what they all add up to, and that's what we do.
Those are all great points. You want to spot those red flags before they turn into really big problems for you. And with so many more people retiring since COVID, I think the playing field has definitely changed. So I wanted to ask you guys this. How has that surge impacted the types of scams or misleading offers that you're seeing out there today? And what should people be extra cautious about now compared to 5 years ago? Because sadly, we know that retirees are the prime target for that sort of thing. So what do we need to keep our eyes out for in that department?
Well, the big thing is most of these seminars in town, they're trying to get the clients to act right now. It's like you got to hurry. You're going to miss the boat on this. And that's not true. You should take your time. Number one, like Travis said earlier, we have to find out the purpose of your money. And that dictates exactly where we're going to put it. You can't just do that in one quick appointment. We've got to get the information. We have to analyze it. And then we have to put together great products, great plans, and discuss it with our potential clients.
So if you guys had to give listeners one gut check question to ask any retirement planner before signing on, what would that one question be and why?
Wow, that's a great question. There's so many things that come to mind that you want to be aware of, but you might want to just make sure they have a process. And with our process, we have a rigorous, tried and true process of going through your roadmap, the purpose of money, and then different wealth checkpoints. And you want to make sure they're not just kind of shooting from the waist, and you want to see that they're organized in their process so that you know that you're going to have an organized retirement. And I think that kind of, I guess by unintended consequences, what I'm saying is make sure that there's a full plan put together and there's not just pieces, because it's not the sum of one part, it's the sum of all the parts that put together a retirement plan. So make sure they have a process to identify the sum of all retirement planning, because it is a lot different than accumulation. So if that's something you want to find out about, you want to see our process and how we make sure we're going through the retirement checklist very carefully. It's not just about accumulation. You can set up a call, or we'd prefer you to come in person, and our phone number is 714-452-1955. Or you can go on our website and click Get My Retirement Roadmap, and then we'll reach out. Would love to sit down with you. 2026 might be a year that you're able to retire, and you never knew that could happen. So give us a call, and we'll go from there.
That's right. 714-452-1955 is what you need to dial to solidify your spot on the calendar for that Ivanoff Retirement Roadmap. We've got these spots set aside exclusively for our radio listeners. No pressure, just a chance to chat through your situation and to take that initial step in the planning process for your retirement. We've got Ashley and Amber standing by at the office, ready to get you on the calendar. So now is the time to dial 714-452-1955 or online if that's easier for you. Like Travis said, we are at ivanoffinsights.com. Guys, thinking about how scams have evolved in recent years, it just shows why planning ahead is so critical, which is what we preach here on the show. Getting that plan set in place when you're in those last 5 to 10 years before retirement is so important. So let's shift to what happens when retirement is right around the corner. You can see it on the horizon. So what should your priorities be right now as you prepare? CNBC talked with Courtney Gibson recently. She's the CEO of the Teachers Insurance and Annuity Association, better known as the TIAA, but let's hear what she had to say.
You don't have to understand every nuance of what asset allocation means, but how do you make sure that you're making the right choices today to set yourself up in the future for success? And what protection in their portfolio can help them to do to ensure that at least they know how they're going to pay their bills. At least they know they're going to have their minimum needs met, whether they live to 80, 90, or we have some people we're paying that are 106 years old. To live long and not have to worry about where the money's coming from, I'd sign up for that any day of the week.
So that sounds similar to your process, guys. So I wanted to ask, what's the reaction of your clients when they find out that their monthly retirement needs can be met with a guaranteed paycheck? What are those conversations like in your office?
Well, the important thing is that they realize after meeting with us that they definitely don't want to run out of money before they run out of life. And that's why it's so important to put together a retirement roadmap. And also, when you do retire, it's best to start prior. You don't wait till the last minute. I'm retiring in a week or two or half a year. We've got to pre-plan this. The more time we have prior, the better we can do as far as how to put together the right plan for the right person based on what they want to do. After all, you are, for a lot of people, when you do retire, you're in the best years of your life health-wise. Those are the go-go years. So we want to, if we could, let's front load that and take those great vacations, all the things that you wanted to do. Take the family on trips and do it while you can, because eventually our health might not be there. So let's take advantage of things while we can.
And I would add, a lot of people in retirement planning get so stuck on net worth, but just like she was saying a minute ago, cash flow is king when it comes to retirement planning. And making sure you have stable income is really what's going to probably breed the consistency in your spending habits, meaning going on vacations, spending those dollars, because next month you got another 10 grand. The next month you got another 10 grand. So having your baseline of income set up is a big factor in retirement planning, because I use this analogy when I'm sitting down with clients. When you leave your job, you're actually signing up for a new job, and that is head of payroll. And when you're running your own payroll, you want to make sure those checks are going to be there every 2 weeks. Now, if we're only really counting on Social Security, that's going to be a low pay job, right? That base salary is not going to be enough to make it in Southern California for most people. So we want to make sure we're setting up payroll to get us more than just Social Security that we can count on. And I again, going back to the analogy, I'll kind of explain to clients like, well, forever you worked your entire life and you're always trying to get usually a higher base salary and the bonuses are great, right? So when you're thinking about it like that, and then you switch over to retired and now you're living off portfolios, it's almost like you're living off commissions. If the market's doing really well, maybe you're making more that year. If it's not, you're spending less. So if you're going to run your own payroll, do you want more consistent, higher base salary, or do you want to take a sales job where you're just living off commissions? My guess is that you want a good base salary. So once you retire, you are the manager of your payroll. Let's make sure we do it safely. We're giving you raises to keep up with inflation and not only counting on performance from markets in order to do that. So having those paychecks that are coming to you week in and week out with and at least covering your essentials with Social Security, again, in Southern California, might not do.
That's a great perspective. Travis, guaranteed income can really transform the way people feel about their retirement and the confidence that they have. But I want to ask you this, because annuities don't have the best reputation because they are a little controversial. I'm curious, when your clients hear the phrase guaranteed income, guaranteed paycheck, what kind of misconceptions do they usually have about annuities and how they work? And how do you clear those up? How do you explain the process to them?
That's a great point, because I feel like with the invention of AI and Chat GPT and Google at your fingertips, everyone's an expert, and you can find the good, the bad, the ugly on annuities. The reality is we're going to focus on the educational part of annuities. And I do like when people tell me I don't like annuities, oftentimes my follow-up is, well, what don't you like about them? And, well, my friend said they're no good. My friend said they have high fees. Mm-hmm. My advisor that doesn't use annuities at all says they all have high fees. Those are a lot of general statements and misunderstanding about them. So we focus on the education, how they work. What are the costs? What are the trade-offs? So then my clients, by the time they're done going through our Annuity 101 and our meetings, they have a better understanding. And maybe it's still not the right fit, but for me, it's nice to kind of kill the misconceptions about them, so they're not sitting there continuing to spread the same, fear mongering or the rumors about annuities. They're going to keep all your money. The fees are all 3 to 4%.
Yeah.
The reality is, annuity is just another form of a pension, right? Essentially, I'll talk to clients about this. We're choosing to take a portion of our money, which we've been saving our whole life, to eventually retire on, which means pull paychecks off. We could use a fixed index annuity, and we're essentially buying another Social Security. We're buying a pension. Do you like the idea of stability and your income coming from more than one source, maybe more than 2 paychecks from Social Security? That's the idea behind it. But we would never put all of someone's assets in an annuity. That would not be a good fit. So the goal is to going back to the paycheck analogy, let's make sure we have a great base salary. Maybe you're getting $50,000 per between 2 couples for Social Security. Your baseline to enjoy retirement. Maybe it's not doing all the big lavish trips, but maybe you need $75,000 a year. All right, let's solve for $75,000 a year and let the rest of the money, kind of be our bonus. So we got our paycheck, we got our salaries that are taking care of us through life. And then we're going to use the annuity side of the market. We're going to use the market for our bonuses. Some years are going to be good, some years are going to be bad, but the market is unpredictable. Every single day, up, down, or sideways. And oftentimes when we talk to clients, they're like, well, I have time. I'm a disciplined investor. I'm going to buy and hold, or whatever their case may be. Yes, but it is different when you're pulling paychecks off your portfolios. You no longer have the same buy and hold opportunity, because while you're holding, if you still need money out while your account's constantly going down, the math of recovery is not friendly. So, for example, if you had $100,000 and you lost 50% and you're down to 50 grand, how do you get back to that same 100,000? You need to make 100%, right? So what we want to make sure is that we have some money earmarked for income purposes, some money earmarked for, participating in the market, some money in a cash reserve, building out long-term care. So again, annuities aren't for everyone, but our goal is to focus on the educational part, show you how they work, what they cost, what the trade-offs are, and then together we'll decide if it's a good fit.
In the end, an annuity, for those people that we recommend it, it's just one piece of the retirement puzzle. You need many pieces. A lot of people, when they hear the word annuity, they're turned off. But yet, if I said to them, well, what about, would you enjoy getting a pension? Are you getting a pension? They go, yeah, pensions are great. Well, pension is an annuity. Also, there are people, they play the lottery, yet if they win the lottery, a lottery is an annuity. They like that aspect of it, but we just have to let them know exactly what it all encompasses.
Right. Understanding how these tools really work can make all the difference in your retirement confidence. And if you're listening and wondering how guaranteed income might fit into your plan, I just want to remind you that we have those spots on the calendar just for you. 714-452-1955 is what you need to dial for your very own Ivanoff Retirement Roadmap. No obligation attached to this meeting. It's just a chance to talk through your goals and get answers to your big questions. 714-452-1955. Let's set a time on the calendar for you to connect directly with Travis. Just a 15-minute conversation to start you out and for him to see how he can best help you move in the right direction. 714-452-1955. Or, of course, if online's easier for you, you can find us at ivanoffinsights.com, IVANOFF. You'll just click on that big Get Your Roadmap button and share your information, and we'll reach out directly to you, and we can get connected that way.
Investment advisory services offered through Ivanoff Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor firm. Registration is not an endorsement by security regulators. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Travis Ivanoff, California CRD number 325275. The firms are separate entities. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company and are not offered by Ivanoff Wealth Management Incorporated. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Ivanoff Wealth Management is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Ivanoff Wealth Management is licensed in your state, please call 714-553-1490. Ivanoff Advisors is not affiliated with Ivanoff Wealth Management Incorporated. Advisory services are offered by Travis Ivanoff through Ivanoff Wealth Management. Insurance services are offered by Paul Ivanoff through Ivanoff Advisors. The aforementioned are unaffiliated companies.
All content is for information purposes only. It is not intended to provide any tax or legal advice or provide the basis for any financial decisions, nor is it intended to be a projection of current or future performance or indication or future results.